Hi guys, it's LSP and we're currently looking at the Euro USD on the monthly chart. Just going to go over a few ideas. It's the beginning of the year, 7th of January, so we're basically a week in, and I want to kind of do a big macro view of the Euro USD. As I promised, going into this year, I'm going to be more active, but more importantly, I'm going to be keeping these videos concise, short, to the point. So I don't want to waste people's time. And I want people to really sort of, be able to engage, get the information that they need, and then carry on with their rabbit trails on YouTube. So with all of that said, if you enjoy the content that I post, please give the video a thumbs up, share the channel, subscribe to the channel, share the videos and so on. It really does help, guys, and I really appreciate it. The subscriber account's getting, higher and higher, and it's giving me a nice kick up the arse to really sort of simplify things and post more content that I know matters. So with all of that said, let's just take a brief look at what we think could potentially be unfolding in the next 3 to 6 months on Euro USD. All right. So I am using an iPad Pro pencil, and I'm just going to be kind of making some squiggles like this and so on. Keep things simple. This is a great way to journal as well, by the way. So if you're not used to journaling using an iPad or a Samsung or something like that, then I suggest you do, because it's a really, really simple way. Take a snapshot of a chart, make some notes, journal, and then move on. Yeah, and it just saves it as one picture. It's brilliant. So with all of that said, let's get straight into it. Okay. First things that we want to make a note of when we're looking at the monthly chart like this is this drop, this consolidation, this low, which failed to make a new low, okay, and then where price currently is right now. They're the things that really stand out for me, okay, and I will make a note, and we'll do it this way. I'll put a number 1 here, I'll put number 2 here, I'll put a number 3 here, and then I'll put a number 4 there, and I'll give you my perspective on each one of these areas and why they're important to me, and why, for example, I didn't make a note of this high here or this move here, just as an example, okay, because there's loads of stuff going on this chart, but it's these 4 areas that really stand out for me. Okay, number 1, why does that area catch my eye? Because it's aggressive. Okay, it's a tanking market. Yeah, in this case, the Euro USD. Okay, so the euro is getting weaker against the dollar, and it did that for a nice prolonged period of time. Yeah, we're talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're talking almost a year. Almost a year. 9 months, prices just going down and down and down. And as it starts to get towards this area down here, you notice that price starts to accelerate. Yeah, it starts to accelerate, and that acceleration is price effectively reaching for liquidity. When it finds that liquidity, we know it's found liquidity, and this is a key moment now, guys. We know it's found liquidity because, okay, price starts to slow down, and that's number 2. You see price slows down for a long time. Years, yeah? You're talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, I mean, it's years of data. Let me just move this out of the way. So 2015 to around about 2018. So we go back maybe sort of mid 2000, 2015, 2000, mid 2017. Price starts to do something and then it kind of shoots away, and it grinds higher. But I'll go back to what I was saying. We know price has found liquidity because it slows down and it stays within an area. The slowdown is price finding liquidity, effectively there, just as it starts to slow down, and then it grinds sideways and it starts to chew up anybody that's in the market, right, from a position, trading point of view. And people had to sit through this for years and years and years. There's plenty of trades on an intraday basis, but we know people sat through that, big institutions and so on. So number 2 is important, but there's a key moment in number 2 that really stands out for me. Nope, sorry, wrong one. That really stands out for me. And that's this area right here. Yeah, and I'm using the magnifier because I really want to make a note of this. The most significant point on this chart, period, okay, is this area right here. that tail. That is the most significant candle, okay, in all of this area of price action. The candle that I've just made a note of, that tail, or wick as some people like to call them, is the most significant point on the entire section that I've just drawn out. Why is that? Really look and see if you can work out what price has done on that tail relative to the rest of the area number 2. Why is it so significant? Okay, the reason it's so significant is because that tail effectively takes out, oh sorry, I'm gonna have to use a magnifier again, I do apologize guys. That tail effectively takes out that low right there. Now, I don't want to sound like I'm being condescending, but I really hope that people are paying attention, because this is gold, what I'm about to tell you. That candle that I've just made a note of initially took out any stops or any liquidity that was resting below the consolidation. Okay? The second candle took out the previous candle. So you've got the first one that's responsible for taking out any liquidity that's left, or sorry, any liquidity that was resting below the consolidation. That's in number 2. The next candle, which I've just pointed out with the clean arrow, is responsible for taking out the liquidity below the previous month's candle. Now, wait a second. If that previous month just took out all the liquidity, then why did it need to drop below the previous candle's low? To stop anybody from going short, effectively. Sorry, to stop anybody from going long is what I meant to say. I do apologise. Now, that may not seem like it's a big deal, but when you look at the rest of number 3 and number 4, it gives you more confidence when you sit down for the first time to look at a Euro USD chart like this, and you say, oh, price is at 122.68. Well, if I just do a quick analysis, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, this is going higher. This is going higher because of that because of the significance of the area that I've made a note of using the magnifier and I'm going to really circle it. The significance of that point right there is what gives you the giveaway that price simply does not want to go lower anymore, because it took out all the liquidity and then it took out anybody that wanted to go long as well. Yeah, and then it proceeded to go long to really stick the knife in. Yeah, and then obviously as price comes down into 3, fails to create a new low, and then we get this really nice pop just there. That pullback for me is buyable any day of the week. And as far as I'm concerned, the absolute very first area that we are going to be going to is going to be here. Sorry, I can't draw crosses, guys. I do apologise. It's going to be this area here. Okay, that's the first area where I absolutely believe price is going to go to. And then what I'm going to do is I will just use a square. It'll be easier to make a note of this, like so. And then I think this is the next area where price is going to want to end up in in the next 3 to 6 months. I think euro is really going to thrive against the dollar. Now, obviously, this is a much larger term view, 3 months, 6 months, possibly a year. So any ideas that I have for the next sort of 3 to 6 months don't really affect what I personally do on an intraday basis, because I'm just looking for that 1 trade or 2 trades a week and I'm happy, but when we look at something like this, you have a really good, strong macro view of what potentially could be unfolding on the euro, and that gives you that confidence to know that if you do end up taking maybe a swing trade or a day trade and holding for a couple of days or maybe a couple of weeks, that you're going in the flow of a chart that has a much stronger characteristic and time value than any other chart that we look at. Yeah, because the monthly chart's insane, and I know there's 3 months and 6 months, but I'm just talking about monthly, weekly, daily, you know, in 4 hour. The monthly chart is a huge chart at the beginning, you know, beginning of the year, mid-year, and at the end of the year. It's a phenomenal chart to really track, but it takes a very long time to unfold. But you have that massive current that's pulling you in one direction, and that's the key point. All right. So I'm going to leave the video at that, guys. I hope you found it insightful. If you have any comments or questions, you know, you can always email me at info@lsptrading.co.uk. I always answer emails, and if needed, I'll do private videos for people as well and share a link for you. So you're more than welcome to email me any questions that you have. I deliberately turn the comments off on the videos that I post because, you know, I get a lot of crap basically, and I just don't have the patience for it. So with all of that said, I'm going to leave it at that. I hope everybody's well, and I will catch up with you guys in the next video, which is probably going to be the gold video on spot gold, the analysis that I'm going to be doing on that with the 3 charts. Take care, and I will speak to you soon.